The club is proud to present our new partner, Super 6. I'm so gassed with this one. I've been using Super 6 for so many years. Every football fan, I feel, loves Super 6. It's an unbelievable game to play. Free to play. And let's be completely real. If you predict 6 correct score lines every week, you got the chance to win 250 grand. That is serious money, and it's unbelievable. Every week, you get the opportunity to compete against myself with my elite ball knowledge, Adam, and of course, Rory, in the club's own very mini league. Every round, if you come top of that league, you get 100 quid to spend at classic football shirts. Think about all the Man City retro kits you could buy if you're a Man City fan, of course. This week, I've predicted Arsenal to beat Leeds 2-1. Let's be completely real. Leeds are soft to play against, and I'm backing Arsenal to keep up their very, very good form. I think they'll drop points against Man City, hopefully, as opposed to Leeds United. 2-1 for me. Make sure you use the app yourself to put in your predictions. There's already been 3 jackpot winners this season that have all won 250 grand. It's unbelievable. The player who scores the most points in each round gets a chance of 5 grand as well. It's unbelievable. Make sure you join the league in the app with the club S6.
You're watching a clip from the Club podcast.
Make sure you follow it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and give it a 5-star review.
So here you go. Here's a lovely clip from our podcast.
Right, next up, lads, Everton. They could be in trouble, and they have either made some grave errors, or they haven't, and we're going to find out in court. I think the best thing we can do now is go to our producer, Elliot.
FFP.
Elliot, what is going on with Everton?
So they're being investigated for alleged breaching of the rules in the 2021-22 season. Leeds and Burnley made official complaints. They recorded 370 million of losses between 2018 and 2021. They're allowed to lose 105 million over 3 years, but with deductions. Everton claim that with these deductions, they fall with the loss within the loss of boundaries, and Richarlison's sale last year basically was their way of balancing the books. So yeah, no precedent for this kind of thing. It's never happened before, but it could be a points deduction.
Okay, first thing we need to do, thank you, Elliot, but first thing we need to do, Burnley, Leeds, grasses. Yeah. Whatever's going on here, nobody likes a grass.
Leeds also grassed on Frank Lampard as well, remember?
Huh?
When he was mooching over the thing, the grass on him then as well.
Frank Lampard spying over the
No, it's the other way around. It was Bielsa on Lampard. Yeah, cheating. Bielsa was cheating. I grassed up Bielsa because I don't like Bielsa either. But, no, you got to feel bad for Everton. They're not out of the relegation battle on a footballing level, and then they've got this owner who's clearly one of the most incompetent owners in the history of football, pound for pound.
So much money. Going back to your theory, though, Buvey. Going back to your theory, you seem to rate spend from ownership, don't you? Like that's kind of your go-to. Like when
when have I ever said that?
I mean, very recently when we were discussing Manchester United, you kept going, well, they've spent loads of money, they spent loads of money.
Yeah, United have spent £1 billion. I mean, Everton spending 300 million is egregious. Do you know what I mean? It's terrible transfer policy.
I think Bashiri spent closer to $500 million.
Yeah, but it's 300 million in terms of the loss of the loss.
But he's spent Bashiri has thrown $500 million quid in 5 years.
Stadium on the way as well.
They have. They've got on the docks, which is a shame because Goodison is glorious.
That Usmanov's gone.
Usmanov's gone. I think he's been sanctioned in the States.
Exactly, ages ago. So these are all these kind of issues that are falling into place at once at the moment. The fans are turning on the owners and everyone we saw that was worrying because we can always talk about the numbers. It's quite an abstract thing, but when you're seeing executives at Everton kind of put under pressure, kind of their safety put under pressure, that is not a happy club. Look, it's a shame. I'm not condoning anyone, being violent or anything towards anyone. All right, before anyone starts going on about that. But what I would say is they're messing with their football.
Yeah, the fans are in the right.
We've just read out. Stokey read out a load of numbers about how much they're in debt. And I find it mad when we go, actually, they're allowed to be 300 million. No. What do you mean allowed to be?
Yeah.
No, because some businesses
you're allowed to have a loss of 100 million.
Yeah.
I find it mad we're even speaking in those.
No, but some businesses could. It sounds ridiculous, but some businesses can function well losing money.
But this football club, it belongs to the people.
Yeah, it's been mismanaged.
I know it doesn't anymore, but they are ultimately, looking after the club for the people within that community. All right, they want to make money from it. All right, they want to try and do this, that, and the other. But you're running it into the ground. You're spending money that you can't afford, and now the club are going to be the ones that have to pay for it.
They're going to be in court. I don't quite know what the penalty will be if they're found guilty of this, but presumably it means that they're not playing in the Premier League anymore.
Well, if it's a points deduction next season, maybe they've got a chance. I think if it's this season, I don't know if it.
They need to get your lawyers in.
Well, let's talk about Everton.
Can't afford them.
Look, we've got loyal listeners expecting some conversation from you, mate, about Everton, not Man City. We're here to talk about Everton.
As a man with experience of this, how do you think they dodge their
I
consequences?
have experience of watching 11 lads kick a ball around on a football pitch.
Buvey,
Right, lads?
you have lived this. This is a lived experience.
Let's bring in some accountants, some dodgy accountants that Adam uses for his businesses, and we'll do that.
Whoa.
No, Buvey, seriously, as a fan of a team that has managed to evade rules and regulations, what do you suggest Everton fans do here?
All I can say as a football fan is that I want Everton to get back to the point where they play football for the fans. The stadium's up for it. They got some of the best sets of fans in the world.
They
Everton
need to
fans.
stay up this year, don't they?
I hope
You know, when
stay
they
up.
go down, it's disaster.
They need to stay
They're
up.
Portsmouth 2.0. Look, Portsmouth is still in League One.
But where's
Do you
the
know what I mean?
protection from the FA and the Premier League for these clubs?
There is the protection. The protection is
where's
there.
the protection?
It's called the fit and proper persons test.
it's not
Usmanov is obviously a fit and proper person because he passed the
yeah.
test.
You're being
so is
sarcastic,
Glazer.
yeah.
Like, it's the fit and proper persons test. What's your problem?
It's the unfit and proper test. Are you unfit enough to run? Are you mentally enough to run a football club?
I think the test is. I think Gary Neville talks about it a lot. It's a load of rubbish. The test. If there's a guy out there with £1 billion and he can save Man City, we're 4 weeks away from administration with our former owner before the
Taxing, and he got in there.
Exactly.
He passed the fit and proper test.
So if the money's there, we're in a free market capital kind of Western world. I mean, if the money's there to save a football club, I think Bury fans would be loving it if some guy came in with £1 billion, but he was some dodgy guy from Armenia.
No, but my
Do you know what I
point
mean?
here,
With all due
Buvey, isn't
respect.
about people coming in and saving someone. My point here is that the clubs are allowing these owners to take control. Sorry, the FA and the governing bodies are allowing these owners to take control without doing any due
Who's going to
diligence.
stop Mashiri? Mashiri spent 35 million quid on David Klassen.
It
really
How
is.
can a fit and proper test stop that?
But no, it's a shambles. But I do feel sorry for Everton because I just don't see how they recover from this. Like even if they sort of get away with this, it's years and years of having the club run so poorly that they're now ultimately so far behind everyone else, aren't they? And also, what's it going to mean for the stadium? Like this stadium is being built.
I hope it stops. I hope Goodison Park has to survive, but Upton Park couldn't. Do you know what I mean?
I hope it stops.
What, stop building
got half a
it. Hey, mate,
stadium.
put that hammer down. Put that hammer down. We're stopping. Buvey said stop.
Are they?
Stop.
The ball just keeps going into the river.
Are they half a stadium in? I thought
I
they
think,
were.
mate,
I thought it was
well,
planning
no,
permission.
it's under.
They're screwed, aren't they? Mate, they're going to be playing Rotherham, League One, right? And they're tough.
Use that might go down with him. Use that might go down with
I was
him.
back. All right, I hope you get the worst possible owners from Man United now. I was backing you, by the way. I was saying, United are an
I hope
institution.
you get that finish, geezer.
The dodgy guy. The
If he
dodgy
comes
guy.
in, I'll own half of the club.
No,
So
but
I don't
honestly,
mind.
by the way, lads, you lads are slagging it off. Look, League One, right? Wednesday night, Plymouth Argyle away. That's hard. So Everton fans, get used to that, lads.
Boys, do you want to know one of the big ironies of this whole situation as well?
Yes.
When Burnley obviously grassed Sean Dyche was manager. And
Was
now,
he?
Now he's gaffer of Everton.
Sean Dyche crashed on himself.
Yeah, see, that's why you should never do it, mate. That's why you should never do it.
Goes around,
I've never grassed in my life. Rory, you seem to be someone.
Nah.
You grassed on someone in the bill. I remember that.
No, I did.
Yeah.
That was my brother.
I was sat there only thinking, who's this guy grassing?
That's my
You're the
brother.
biggest grass in the bill.
No, I think
If
it's
you're grassing in the bill, there's something wrong. There's something wrong.
shambolic.
You're
What-
going down to 4-0 station to finger someone. Fucking hell. What's going wrong with you?
Mate, can you just believe it? It's just, when you think about who Everton are, though, like Everton are such a big club. If we were one generation older, and if everybody listening to this, one generation older, Everton as champions.
Yeah.
Everton as one of the most
ball in that.
successful teams in the country. Everton as a team that probably had a team that were capable of winning a European Cup. And all of a sudden now you're looking at Everton and anybody a decade younger than us lot are going to go, hang on a minute, this can't be the same team. Yeah, teams that avoid relegation.
Yeah.
Yeah, shambolic. I do hope they get out of it though. Proud institution.
I do like
Yeah, proper
Everton as a football
institution,
club
yeah.
going to their ways there as well. And
Yeah.
all that, and you can't let Liverpool become a one city team. One team city.